Damas y caballeros, ladies and gentlemen, es un honor to present to you today Juan Felipe Herrera.
Muchas gracias. It's good to see you. Sideways, eh? It's good to see you face to face. It's a great moment for me to be here at RCC and to see you in all areas here, all colors, and one heart. So important. Thank you so much for coming over and for being part of the Stay Classy, Stay Classies. Las clases que se quedan classy. Let's give the classies a big mano, the stage class. That's beautiful. Let me put these little magic bouncy balls away because I got them from a pizza party the other day. I'll put it this way. Let's just give them out, okay? Be careful, okay? Don't slap each other. There goes another one. Watch out. Don't slap. And last one to the back. It was my niece's soccer team coming together at a pizza place up here in Redlands, and they were getting these little magic balls and buying them and bouncing them and playing soccer with them. That's how much they're into soccer. So let's give a hand to Joe Scott Cole and the Stay Classy team and all of you. Acknowledgement is so important, to acknowledge each other, reconocernos, reconocerlos, and to recognize each other in a very real way. How beautiful this is. And I think poetry helps us do this, and writing, and reflecting, and all those beautiful things that we do when we let go of the day-to-day hamburger inn, even though that's okay too sometimes. You know, when we just kind of stop and reflect and be ourselves in ways that we have not been ourselves. The real you, the real all of us. So you're going to pass out cards, is that right? You're going to pass out cards and do all kinds of stuff? That's cool. Here, a little card game. You know, City College is amazing. When I first started out, we performed and presented, my friends and I, starting out poets in City College, Southern California. And we had a great time. The Cinco de Mayo celebrations with the students, the big old barbecues, and the big old reading dash barbecues and fiestas, and hanging out with the students and the parents and the teachers. And that's how we started. That's how I started back in the late 60s and early 70s. And sometimes my friend Alurista, one of the pioneer poets, was part of the Chicano literary movement. I said, why don't you take this reading for me? I'm over here I'll be performing at, in this case, UC Santa Barbara. He said, why don't you just go ahead, here's $150 they paid me, it was a lot of money. I was living on beans and burnt rice in San Diego. And it's a good combination. And so I did, and I took my friends from Cochimí Pueblo, indigenous region in Southern California, and Baja area. And we had drums, and I had my guitar, and I had some great songs written, memorized. Servidores del árbol. It went like that, with a drum, really beautiful. We really liked it, felt really deep, and we had a great time with big sombreros, big straw sombreros. And so we walked into the Santa Barbara 300 full classroom in English and Inglés. And I said, oh, where's Alurista? Oh, I'm Juan Felipe, and this is our group. We got everything. I'm kind of taking his place. What do you think? Well, I don't know. Okay. Come on, go ahead, get on up here. Okay, what am I going to do with these guys? So then he presented us, And then we got up there. Servidores del árbol de toda nuestra vida. Boom, 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 boom. So after the program, he said, I want my money back. So that's how I kicked off. That's why I kicked off. And we went to Mexico, La Capital, Mexico City. We performed on the pyramids. We climbed those pyramids. We did theater. We traveled with tuna cans and saltine crackers all across Texas, and we made it to literary conferences, and we danced in circles, and we burnt incense, and we read poems, took out our guitar, and we sang poems, songs and poems we had written in Espanol, English, with drums and dancing, and we ate as much as we wanted to at night, 100 burritos, and we didn't go to sleep, and we kept on, and then we got invited. Oh, I really like that dance you guys did, that set of Aztec dances. Very good. And I'm from Nuevo Mexico, so, ¿por qué no se vienen con nosotros? And you're invited to Nuevo Mexico, en la ciudad de Abiquiu. Come on up to Nuevo Mexico. This was in Austin, Texas. Come on up to Nuevo Mexico. We'll be waiting for you in Abiquiu, 7 p.m., 3 days from now. Abiquiu. Hey, we're going to Abiquiu, you guys. Okay, get ready, here we go. So then we put our drums on top of the car, and we make sure we had the saltine crackers and our tuna cans all ready. If we didn't sleep, we just did this thing that we did. And we're just buzzing through, we're buzzing through Texas, and we're going up and down, and we make some U-turns, flat tire in Johnson City. We fixed it, kept on going, and we made it to Santa Fe. And we had a big old map full of, saltines, and we got around the map, and we punched a hole through it, and we passed through Peñasco, and then I think we were close, but it was dark, so we finally got there to Abiquiu, northern Nuevo Mexico, the source. We were at the source, so we opened up the door, our drums fell out, and the guy says, but we're 2 hours late, Juan Felipe, but nobody's going to be there. But it's okay. We'll perform anyway. We went this far. And then we tiptoed. And everybody was still in the big hallway in Abiquiu. And they had big sombreros like us. And they were there waiting. I said, okay, muchachos, get your guitars out. And we started strumming. And you guys get dressed behind that mat over there. Put on your dance outfits. And let's go. Get your poems. Okay, don't forget your poems. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. El picket sign, lo cargamos todo el día. And that was one of the songs that Cesar Chavez sang, the farm workers sang, in the boycott against grapes and the growers and the kind of conditions farm workers had to live in. It was a picket sign. El picket sign. So we just fell out of a Rambler and started singing a picket sign, and we marched in, and everybody was waiting, and we performed. So this is a feeling of the beginning, how I started. And I would carry poems in a big old yellow pad, legal pad, and I knew them all by heart. And I would burn a little stick of incense in the morning and take out my guitar and sing my songs, which were poems. It was good because then I lost them all on a Greyhound Depot on a love quest. But I still knew them. So then I copied them down, except a brand new piece, which was really the best. It was a futuristic piece. It was going to shock the world. But I couldn't remember it. So that's my early experience. And I took Subject A, and I bombed the essay test, and I thought it was good in Subject A, though. I did good in there. And I took English 1, and that was it. I didn't know there was English 2 or 3. And I didn't know there were poetry classes either. So I got into sociology, social work, and then anthro. Because I figured, it's about culture. So I might as well take something about culture, so I can learn my culture. So that's why I took anthro. Yeah, there's more stories. And the thing about writing on pieces of paper like this is that it's hard to read what you wrote. This is called Wisharika. Wisharika walking. Wisharika walking. The Wisharika are the Huichol peoples of central Mexico. The last to be colonized by the Spanish. I thought that was a very big thing in the late 60s and early 70s. So I wanted to get in touch. Remember cultura, gotta know our culture. And so I wanted to get in touch with one of the groups in Mexico, like we all did, like we all still do. That still had its practices and beliefs and all those things that make up a people's songs and poems, and designs and art together. So I met up with them and found some beautiful teachers there on one of my escapades as an undergraduate. So I was remembering the Wisharika this morning and how walking is a way of finding their life. Walking. Right? For us it's kind of Facebook. But for the Wisharika, everyone say Wisharika. Wisharika. It's walking. And they walk many, 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 many miles. Caminan millas y millas y millas. They say, one of the things they say is, nosotros sabemos caminar. That's what they're proud of. They're proud of being great walkers. We know how to walk. And we walked. My feet look like enchiladas when we finally got to the pueblo. From Tepic, Nayarit, the capital of Nayarit, all the way to the mountains and sierras of the Huicholes. 10,000 strong at that time, and now 20,000+ strong. But their land is being threatened by the government again. So here it is. Hopefully they'll be able to read it. It's okay, doesn't matter. Still a poem. Wisharika, walking. Wirikuta, original peoples, original lands, walking to find our life. Wisharika, Wirikuta, our dreams and the vision of our lives. In the morning, everyone is quiet, with their own vision. Here we listen to Tauyapa, Father, Son. Shape the wisdom, lead our lives, lead the village, all lives, in our lives, in all lives. So this is for you guys. How we're walking to find our life, and poetry is walking. Poetry is walking. Walking inside, walking outside, and walking across the page. How cool that is. And the mind walking. Original people's original land. And you are the original people's, and you are the original land. It's never really out there. That's what's cool about poetry. It's not out there, it's in here. In here. So that's for you. And a parenthesis. If you put a parenthesis in a poem, you're going to look cool. I guarantee it. Your grade will go up. And it'll get published. You gotta just put up parentheses. Everybody say parentheses.
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 That's all you gotta do. Or in a paper. For example, the economics of the 21st century, 2012 and beyond, parentheses. Questions about life and poetry and new ways of making fries. Close parentheses. You see what happened there? You see? You had like two roads going like that, coming together. Dissonance and harmony. So here's the parentheses. The age of writing. We are in the age of writing. We are in the age of writing. Everything is writing, right? Everything is writing. Facebook is writing. iPod is writing. I is writing. Yeah, we're all writing. Writing. Whether we're playing, we're writing. Or whether we're traveling, we're writing. But we're just writing like this. So that's interesting. That's an interesting thing. We're all in a world, in multi-dimensional world of writing. How most interesting for you and me. So then the question becomes, how are we going to orient our lives in this writing? How are we going to orient our writing? Are we going to just write? Or are we going to orient our writing in a particular direction? For ourselves, for others, for healing, for children, for nothing, for money, for fries. Right? ¿Qué vamos a hacer con nuestra escritura? How are we going to orient? Got to take it somewhere. Where are you taking it? That was a parenthesis. Close parentheses. Everybody say parentheses on your hand. Everybody say close parentheses. 187 reasons why Mexicanos can't cross the border. I thought it'd be good to have just a direct title instead of reflecting on the obsidian oblique lights of existence and the new ellipses between consciousness and subversion. Right? So we'll have to just come out and say it. Once in a while, just come out and say it. Once in a while, just come out and say it. Sometimes we try to be really poetic, which is a lot of fun. You know, we're not going to exclude anyone or anything, or any color or any history, or any sexual orientation. We're not excluding anymore. That's old school. We're including. So we can be poetic and we can be direct. So I selected just a couple for you. You want to go at the beginning or in the middle or at the end?
One of each.
In the middle.
All of them? Let's do 187 reasons. 187 reasons. Immigration, migration, borders, separation, inclusion, coming together, brutality, compassion. What's going on? Brutality, compassion, inclusion, exclusion. 187 reasons why Mexicanos can't cross the border. Everybody say because. Because our suitcases are made with biodegradable fibers.
Because.
We still resemble La Malinche.
Because.
We'll dig a tunnel to Seattle.
Because.
The Berlin Wall is on the way through Veracruz.
Because.
Our border thirst is insatiable.
Because.
What would we do in el norte? Because it's Indian land stolen from our mothers. Because it's too easy to say, I am from here. Because Nahuatl and Mayan and Chicano will spread to Canada. Because the World Bank needs our abuelita's account. But because the CIA trains better with brown targets. Because we're still voting. Because US and European corporations would rather visit us first. Because we're doomed and destined to have the go back. to Mexico blue. Because of the Spanish penchant to be polite and aggressive. Because we had a vision of Sor Juana in drag. Because our passport says we're out of date. Because the word revolución, and because of the word revolución and the word Viva Zapata. Because it's too easy to say American citizen. Because the Grammys and iTunes are finally out in Espanol. Because the Alamo is really pronounced a la madre. Because England is making plans. Because information superhighway is not for Chevys and Impalas. Because banda music will take over the White House. Because of the term Mexican comes from Mexicanto. Because the National Guard are going international. Because tattoos are indecipherable. Because we gave enough blood at the Smithfield Incorporated Slaughterhouse in Tar Heel, North Carolina. Because a quinceañera is going to ruin the concept of American virginity. Because juzgar, riata, and rodeo are really juzgado, riata, and rodeo. Because we're in love with our sister Rigoberta Menchú. Because we may start a series, a television series, pushing out American Idol, and it's going to be called No Chingues Conmigo. Because Mexican human rights sound too Mexican. Because Executive Order 9066 of 1942 should have had us too. Because Operation Wetback took care of us in the 50s. Because Operation Clean Sweep picked up the loose ends in the 70s. Because one more operation is going to finish us off anyway. Because you can't deport 12 million migrantes in a Greyhound bus. Because we have a heart that sings rancheras and feet that polka. You can go ahead and clap. You guys are very kind. Very kind. Jeez. How to make world unity salsa, one by one. 34 things I did after my mother died.
Wow, that one sounds good.
For us as writers, I think it's good to have many voices and many cultures. So as opposed to me just writing Chicano stuff, it's good to branch out and branch in, right? And Jewish American history, African American history, Native American culture, Arabic, Middle Eastern culture, African culture, all cultures. And we can do that very easily. This has to do with going into another whole voice too. After my mother died, I went through 10 years of grieving. I was very close to her, my only child, and she was the master teacher for me. And day in and day out, she told me stories, sang songs, encouraged me, taught me to read Spanish from a busted up old book from a secondhand store, and how to write in Spanish from a busted up old second store book. And was very patient and very kind. Sometimes too much. I thought I was angry because she was so kind. You know, because I wanted her to be different. But she wasn't like that. She was kind. And in the end, after it was all said and done, she was right. Her life was the life that was the life. It was real. And she didn't have to be anyone else. 34 things I did after my mother died. They're going to sound kind of strange, but they're all true. I stepped out of the San Jose Hospital at midnight, 14th Street, to Original Joe's on 2nd Street. Ate pasta, tasted nothing. I shaved my head, slipped on a ragged mustard gas protection trench coat. I bought a thrift town on Mission Street. Strolled San Francisco Bay with Margarita Robles and Victor Martinez. Let the wind howl through me. I could not hear it. I visited FD the therapist, who asked me to speak to the empty chair and announced to my dead father that my mother had died. I jogged the Rose Garden on Taylor Street, shouting names and sweating hours I wanted to keep forever. I drove her tiny box of ashes home and felt the knife. I dreamed the rolling waves swelling. Then she handed me a gift at the peak of a green hill that unraveled the map of my life to come. I wrote things in a journal. Like FD the therapist said, the suffering, I could not take my eyes off of them. I caught more dreams like the dark house, the stove where she brushed next to me, lit, small days on the road in trailers and downtown apartments. I stared at the 9 photographs I had of her and made them move. I listened to her voice, captured accidentally for half a second on a cassette recorder. I let water stream down my face while I drove the 101 south from San Francisco. I replayed her last breath, how it slipped away as if a secret parable, yet so simple. I kept coming back to the long-time pain, the sufferings. My eyes lost something. I talked about her death to students in my class at the Anza, to strangers on the street. I called on my Aunt Albina Quintana, who I had not seen for decades. She came to the tiny memorial where I read a short poem. I walked the sidewalks she had walked and saw her at the bus stops going nowhere. I opened my arms towards the sky and knelt on small mounds of earth. I noticed I could have a conversation with her in that other realm. I realized my partner's mother, Dolores Robles, was my second mother. I invited my father Felipe back again in his ancient life, his sombrero and his stories. I ambled to the south and searched for my grandmother Juanita Martinez's grave at Evergreen Cemetery, touched it and bowed down in the El Paso air. I read a poem of colors for my Aunt Albina when it was her time in 2002. I noticed the years move across the walls, 5, 10, 15, 20. After 10, something on the left side of my chest burst into a leaf. I began to read the clouds and strewn stones and torn broken branches. I listened to everything speak with her familiar, careful, patient, fiery voice. I read a long poem for my second mother, Dolores Robles, when it was her time, in 06. I ambled down the avenues, leaving so many things behind. I was a man. I smoothed my hands on the table and noticed their shape, their softness. I read a poem for my youngest cousin, Rosita Maria Quintana, when it was her time at the end of 06. I realized Rosita was made of small things as my mother, how she spoke to flowers the way my mother spoke to birds. I gazed at my cousin's 16-year-old son Andre, left to wander and wonder, as I was left at 16 by my father's passing. I embraced him. I let my pace shift on its own, the way clouds part and merge again into new forms. I splashed cologne on my face and neck like my mother used to and laughed a little. I kept her gifts close to me, then I gave them away. So, I don't know, it's all happening. I don't need to talk about it. You know how when you talk about something, you don't have to talk about it? That's the key to the whole thing. When we talk about it, it's not what it was, which is the great mystery. How to enroll in a Chicano Studies class? Just in case somebody wants to know how to enroll in a Chicano Studies class. Especially in Arizona. Spring 1968, strutting down Westwood LA. You don't know how good I felt when I saw a whole group of raza at UCLA in '68. From barrios like Wilmas, Norwalk, Whittier, Bakersfield. And Chicano Studies was still a dream. We had rushed the chancellor, told him he had to share it pastel, the pie, give us some slack. Of course, we stormed the administration a la brava. Puro chocolate at last, the cricket combing his hair into the shape of a goose outside the chemistry building. Speaking out, la Adelaida en la Gloria M. Una güeria, la otra prieta, una en teatro, la otra en pre-law. Never felt so de aquellas. Everybody say de aquellas. De aquellas. So cool. So whenever you want to say cool, you say de aquellas. You kind of got to let it rumble a little bit. Because if you say de aquellas, it's not going to work out. So everybody say de aquellas. De aquellas. Even when the frats put up a sign pledging students, sign said, no zapatas allowed. No problem. Me and Era and Rana and Monsiváis took care of it. A baby Molotov at midnight. Just a little baby Molotov. The East LA method. Good thing it didn't go off. But they got the message. We invented Chicano Studies, con manos limpias en las mañanas, clean hands in the morning, demanding our rights. This sounds old now, but we did demand our rights. With our language, our home poems, our long walks, and fast for justice. Andres and Woodham fasted for 30 days. I fasted for 1. Delano, Sacra, Coachella. I can say this. This was our starting point. A healing net across the borders churned with brown clay, rain clouds, open arms, yerbas, a leaf, a single leaf, from the eucalyptus, for each one of us. This is all you need. Breathe in, breathe out. This green wind makes you strong. So that's how to go. Thank you so much. It was a cool time, and it's still a cool time. You know, my arm is moving, I don't know why. It's a parenthesis. Oh, yeah. I know you guys still do this. I encourage you to do this when you can. We traveled. I remember driving that busted up 61 Rambler station wagon baby blue without windows. All the way on $20 from Berkeley to Norte, New Mexico. And it was cool because it got so hot, the steering wheel turned into a small, weird-shaped donut. And the left side of my body was charred. And I made it on the way. My food was orange juice, half pint, 32 hours straight. The beautiful thing was not only the voyage, was New Mexico. I'd never seen Nuevo Mexico. The earth was red. And it was different. The sky was blue. And big clouds. Big old clouds. A little tiny little clouds. Big old clouds. Juan Felipe. Big old clouds. Organic clouds. Doing the mambo. Beautiful clouds. And the food was great. I ran out of money. I only had 20 bucks. It was another love quest. I made it to a tiny little pueblo called Llano. Beautiful, 20 families like this at what is it, 90? This was like 80 degrees. It was built at 80 degrees. Everybody was a pachuco. It was Zutsu. Yeah. Hand me the milk. So I decided to get a job. I ran out of cash, no money. What a love quest that was. So there was a job. It was baling hay. And the application was your hands. So the big boss man says, "A ver sus manos. Let's see your hand." What do you do? What do you do? I'm a writer. Okay, good luck. So let me see your hands. He goes. They were scarred, crystal, crunched up hands, maps and Aztec designs carved on them. Power hands. Squeeze the tables. Make a cigarette out of wood. Really stretch the hammer. The hammer's too small. It's okay. So anyway, we were baling hay. Did I make it? Then a big old bell rang. It's lunchtime, lunchy. So all right, hey, let's lunch, Antonio's lunchtime. The bell's ringing, it's lunchtime, here we go, I'm hungry. We made it to the big house in the middle of this 90-degree, basically pueblo called Llano, and all charred up and everything in my hands. I don't want to talk about them. They were really messed up and looked like chilaquiles. And they had a big old stack of tortillas de harina. Big old giant New Mexican stack of white flour tortillas, 40-inch wide. And they had a giant bowl of, beans, frijoles, real beans. Real beans. You look down and go, I'm a real bean. I'm a real bean. You a writer, huh? You a writer. I'm gonna get you. Yeah, big old bowl of, mashed potatoes, the mashed potatoes, they're going like, yeah. It's good, big old slabs of butter, big old slabs of butter, really kind of hatchet. And big old pile of steaks and carnes asadas all the way up to the ceiling. And a big old, very, very proper, mantel, embroidered New Mexico style, and chile verde, like mustache, Pancho Villa statue. It was good food. So, that's what I mean. We traveled, and it was flavorful. Vámonos a la kiva. The kiva is, what is the kiva, you guys? What's the kiva? It's like an underground sweat lodge. Underground sweat lodge. Religious ceremonial sweat lodge. So we became sweat lodge Chicano poets out there. What happened to you, Juan Felipe? to me. I'm in the space of the sacred now. What? Yes, I'm in the space of the sacred. I am entering the kiva. I cannot be contaminated. Vámonos a la kiva, casa libre. Let us go to the kiva, casa libre. Taza llena, full cup, with our blood, with our love. Jarro claro, clear jar. Templo to meet and regalarnos la luz. A temple to meet and to give each other the light. En la kiva, in the kiva, casa de pechos abiertos wide, house of breast open wide. We must die. To ayer soles, yesterday suns, de hueso of bone, yesterday bodies, cuerpos of hungers, to pain, thirst, to sorrow, waterfalls. Con el caldo of wisdom in radiant gourds, put the juice of wisdom in radiant gourds, jícaras, corazones de sangre, of blood. Vámonos a pintar murales. Let us go and paint those murals. En el cielo, in the sky, to sing from our wombs, nourishing mundos, worlds, nuevos, new, soul, prophesied. Vámonos, let's go, to sow with looms and Shakira beads, wilted, broken pueblos, flores, flowers to jardines, gardens, y paraíso, and paradise, here, aquí. A guisar, to fry, to season the fires, glowing new mañanitas today. To dawn, a nacernos, to be born, to feel, to know, and drink el cuerpo nuestro, our body. Hermoso, beautiful, to sculpt y sudar mundos and sweat worlds. Kiva, reboso, shawl, redondo, round, lucero, light, del pueblo, of the people. So that poem comes from those early times. So that's 187 reasons that's what I mean about having many voices. You know, we have many voices, you have many voices, and sometimes, for some reason, it happens to me all the time, I only use maybe one radiation instead of all the radiations of my voice. Right? Because when you're home, you go, hey, ¿qué pasó? What's going on? Is American Idol on? Right? But then when we rap, we go, 'tis the spring of emeraldine pathway, shuffling down consciousness. And then you go see your friend. Hey, Justin, yeah. And then you go back to the campo, you go, pues ¿cómo están todos? Pues hace mucho que no los veía. Or you get on the cell phone. Well, Brianna, yeah, I did see him. I don't know, he looked at you. So we have many voices, and they all are beautiful. So this is one spectrum. This is another spectrum. This is called lotería. Hey, look at all these colors. Lotería cards. How cool, right? You guys do this, you see an image and you write with the image. Right? And loterias, since we were kids, because we wanted to be millionaires. And, pork and beans, that's all we had going. And salt pork, Ay, tu papá compró salt pork. Your dad bought some salt pork again. I don't like that salt pork. Pork and beans. Could have made beans, Juanito. We got canned beans. So anyway, so we would go to Tijuana and buy lottery tickets so we could become millionaires. So this is a little bit like that. You let me know which one.
Right there.
Oh, look. This is called El Infierno. I'll say it differently. It's the hell region. But I use a different kind of language. I wanted to really mess with language and have fun. I'm going to put on a new language. A feeling here. I'm bopping at the Under Club. See me jab the bass, the Dante kids ooze a high G for gangrene gobbling goof. Behind me, my visage. It's really me, babe. You gotta use babe in a poem. If you don't use babe in a poem, you're holding back. You're holding back. And besides, it sounds really cool when you use babe. Right? Juan, can you read your poem here at the workshop? It's your turn. Babe. This is where it's at, I say. The nuclear dream we held became true. The house we owned, the one with the gazebo by the corporate pool, descended. The associates you call Mr. Right by me, well, baby, they just supplied the stings and strings, and the president, the mistress, the artist who drank fire malts and honored your baklava. Well, they're the tenors, the cute chums with the candy apple-colored entrails, erotic, concentric, electric. That's how this one works. It's a different, see, it's a different spectrum. La Sirena, what's Sirena? The mermaid or the lion? Okay, the mermaid. There she is, having a cool time. There she is, the mermaid. I stalked her for centuries. My apologies. From time to time, she crossed oceans, found me, caressed me, tossed me with her stoic palms, her rough scales stuffed with the soliloquies of Argentine cinema and roses. Take my heart, I said. Take this oblong jelly cave. The crosses, she asked. How did you survive? No me preguntes, I told her. Don't ask me. Ask me about this tortured sea. Your black tresses inside my eyes. Infinite, dying, velocity. So let's get it. Do you want to do the line or you want to shuffle?
The lion.
Okay, this is the lion, El Leon. There he is, looking mighty cool. He's like a grad student right there. In anthro. The king is dead, the children sing. They spit and groove, close the eyes. One plays the piano, his dog music. Another dreams of fresh empanadas out of the plastic. One hears herself for the first time. Their ears blister. So I laugh in my usual archaic and rough gypsy roar. My beatnik mane, my clawing feet on their heads. Thank you so much. So that's the Loteria world, and this is the 187. Let us use our words for the benefit of all. Let us use the beautiful power of our minds for the benefit of all. Let us use our beautiful experiences and histories for the benefit of all. And let us include the beautiful voices, the difficult lives, the amazing cultures, the myriad experiences of all into our lives. And then our writing, amazing, will do great good for everyone. Thank you so much, my dear friends.